So one of the things that I get asked the most by friends, family, and even people here on the channel is how do you afford Disney cruises? And I completely understand why people ask that because Disney Cruise Line is definitely a premium product and it does have a reputation for being expensive. However, what most people don't realize is how the pricing actually works. So you don't pay everything up front. There are ways in which you can spread the cost, and an awful lot more is included than people actually expect. So in this video, I want to break it all down: deposits, payment schedules, placeholders, booking early, and what you're actually getting for your money. I'll also go into details on how I saved up to 40% on one of my sailings last year. So I have quite a lot of cruises coming up this year, including the maiden voyage of the Disney Adventure very soon. And if you're interested in tips and planning advice around Disney cruises, then please do subscribe to the channel. I have quite a lot of content coming up this year, including cruises on the Disney Dream, Disney Fantasy, and Disney Treasure. So if that sounds interesting, then do hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on that upcoming content. Let's get into it. When people see the headline price of a Disney cruise, it can feel very overwhelming and look very expensive, but that total price that you're seeing is usually for multiple people, several nights of the cruise, accommodation cost, your entertainment, and pretty much all of your food and drinks, teas, coffees, etc. And most importantly, you are not required to pay that all at once. And that is where the structure of Disney Cruise Line payments makes a huge difference to the affordability. Looking at how the Disney Cruise Line deposit works, if you think that you're interested in booking a cruise, you can hold a booking for 3 days before you actually have to put down your deposit. When you decide that you are ready to go ahead and book that cruise, you then pay your deposit, and this is 10% of the total cruise fare. Now, this secures your cabin for you, but you then have until the final payment date, about 120 days before you sail, to pay the remaining balance. The best part of this is that if you book 12 to 18 months in advance, then you could be spreading the cost of the cruise over that long period of time. So this makes a huge difference compared to having to pay all of that money upfront in one go. Disney doesn't require you to pay in fixed monthly payments. You can actually spread the cost whatever way you want. So you can pay this off in chunks whenever it suits you, as long as the balance is cleared before your final due date. So some people might choose to pay monthly. You might choose to pay extra after you've, received a bonus in work. You might want to just pay in larger installments. Whatever suits you, that's how you can do it. And it gives so much flexibility. And booking as early as possible gives you more time to spread that cost. So this is what I usually do when I'm booking my cruise. I will book as early as possible, as far out as possible. So for example, I am doing a Mediterranean cruise now in May, but I booked that like a year and a half in advance when the itineraries first went live. And this gave the most amount of time to actually spread the cost of that cruise. So what is actually included in the cost of your Disney cruise? Well, it's a lot. So you are going to have rotational dining in multiple themed restaurants. And rotational dining means that you are going to dine in one of the 3 main dining rooms each night. So you're going to rotate to a different restaurant. And your service team, they are going to rotate with you. So whoever is your service team on the first night, they're going to travel with you to each restaurant. They really get to know you then. They get to know your preferences, what you like and don't like, and you get to build a really nice bond with them. So I find that's a really, really nice part of Disney Cruise Line. You're also going to have Broadway-style shows in the Walt Disney Theatre. You will have deck parties. Some select sailings are going to have pirate night. If you are sailing on a themed cruise, such as Halloween or Christmas, then you will have Halloween or Christmas themed parties on deck. There are also fireworks at sea on select sailings too. So you will also have character meet and greets. You will have the kids clubs for all various different ages. There are the pools and the entertainment on the pool deck. So the funnel vision, you can watch movies up on the deck. There's also the cinema on board. And in the cinema, you get to watch first run films. So if a film has just been released as you're on the ship, that will get shown in the cinema. So for example, last year when we were on the Disney Treasure, Zootopia 2 had just come out and we were able to see that on board, which was really fun. If you're sailing in the Caribbean, you will also have Disney's island destinations included. So Castaway Cay and Lookout Cay. You will get to visit those. There's most of your food, snacks, soft drinks, teas, coffees, all included in the price of your cruise. You also have unlimited ice cream on deck, which is a really nice perk. You also have 24-hour room service. You can order at any time of the day to your room, and that is free. So you will also have housekeeping twice per day. Housekeepers will come in the morning. They will fix up your room. If you're traveling with kids and you've used the pull-down beds or the sofa bed, they will pack that all away for you so that you can use your room during the day. And then you will have that pulled down for you again in the evening time. So they will come in, they will turn down your beds, they will fix up the kids' beds, they will leave you a towel animal and little chocolates on your pillow. So Disney housekeeping, they are phenomenal. They do such a great job looking after the rooms and the guests. So it's just one of the really nice parts of Disney Cruise Line. Looking at things that are not included in the cost of your Disney cruise, one of those things will be alcohol. So Disney Cruise Line does not do an alcohol package. If you want to avail of alcoholic beverages, you're just going to pay an additional cost for those. But all other types of drinks, your soft drinks, teas, coffees, etc., you can avail of those for free. If you do want specialty coffee, usually there's cafes on board that do those, and you will pay extra for those. Port excursions, you will pay extra if you are booking any of your port excursions at your ports of call. The Small World Nursery for children aged 6 months to 3 years, that will be an additional cost. But if your children are in the kids clubs and they're aged 3 years and up, then those will be free. Specialty dining as well for adults. So things like Paolo, Remy, Enchanté, you'll pay a little bit extra for those, and also for the spa and salon services. Gratuities do cost extra, so your tips for your servers and your room attendants, but you can actually pay your gratuities in advance, which is really helpful. So you can add that on to the total of your cruise and pay that in installments. And this is what I ordinarily would do. However, I do also usually bring some extra money on board so that I can top up those gratuities if I feel like the service has been really exceptional, which, to be honest, every time it has. So we have always added extra to the gratuities because the staff work extremely hard. If you want to avail of Disney Cruise Line transfers to and from the cruise, then that will be an additional cost. But again, you can add that to your final payment cost and pay that off before you actually go on the cruise, which is very useful. And again, this is something that I would ordinarily do. And that way it doesn't feel so expensive because you've already paid it in advance. And then, of course, if you're going to buy merchandise on the ship, you're going to pay extra for that. And if you're like myself, you're probably going to pay quite a bit extra because I do love my Disney merchandise. So when we compare the cost of a Disney cruise to, say, a standard on-land holiday where you're going to pay separately for your hotel, for your dining, for your entertainment, etc., you can kind of see that there is quite a lot of value in Disney Cruise Line, because I think when we add up those things separately, if we're booking a land holiday, it's probably not too far off of the cost of a Disney cruise holiday. And there is just so much included for the price. I think especially when we compare it to other cruise lines where sometimes there can be quite a lot of upcharging or a lot of hidden or additional costs. I know with some cruise lines, the initial base cost might look really cheap, but then you have to add on quite a lot of things. You know, you might need to add on dining, or you might need to add on drink packages, etc. So with Disney, you're getting an awful lot included for that price. In terms of entertainment, it's not even just the Broadway style shows. There are activities all day, every day going on the ship. There is so much to do. There's so much to do that it's almost impossible to do everything. And I've been on a number of cruises now, and I still feel like I have barely scratched the surface. So even things from trivia every day, drawing classes, oh my gosh, like silent discos. One of my cruises last year had 2 Broadway stars on the cruise, and they were entertaining us in the evening, you know, putting on shows. It's just a whole other level in terms of the entertainment. And I think that's where the value is really coming from with a Disney cruise. So there are ways in which you can reduce the cost of a Disney cruise, and one of those is to book as early as possible. So the further out that you book, the cheaper your cruise is going to be. Keep an eye out for when the itineraries are released. And if you know for sure that you want to book something, then do it as soon as you possibly can, because the closer that you get to the sale date, the demand increases and the cost goes up. If you sail with Disney and you decide that you've enjoyed it and you do think you're going to go on a future cruise, then when you are on board the ship, you can put down what is called a placeholder. This placeholder reservation costs $250. It is fully refundable. So if you don't use it within 2 years, then it will be refunded to you. If you do decide to use it on a future cruise, you will get at least 10% off the cost of that future cruise. So that is a nice saving. At the moment, Disney Cruise Line does also have some select sailings that are 20 to 25% off the cost if you use your placeholder on them. So it's worth checking out Disney Cruise Line's website for those offers. So another tip is to potentially use a travel agent to book your Disney cruise, because then you may be able to avail of an onboard credit if this is something that they offer. So I do book all of my Disney cruises through a travel agent. If you would like to know who I use, do reach out to me and I will let you know. They do offer an onboard credit, and this is a percentage of the cost of the cruise, which is given back to me in the form of a credit on my stateroom account on board the ship, and I can use that then to go towards buying things like merchandise, etc. Avoiding peak school holiday times or right around major holidays like Halloween or Christmas or Thanksgiving. This can also help to reduce the pricing, so sailing in a more off-peak time. Cabin categories can also make a big difference. So, when we look at the category of room from inside, ocean view, veranda, there can be a very significant cost jump in going from something like an ocean view up to a veranda room. So looking at what you actually need on your cruise is important. For example, do you think you're going to spend an awful lot of time on your veranda? Veranda is lovely to have, but it is a big expense. But if you think that you're going to be spending a lot of time up at the pool or enjoying all the other amenities around the ship, then maybe an ocean view is going to serve your needs better, and you can use the money that you saved on a veranda to put towards other things on your holiday. So do look out for some of the special offers that Disney Cruise Line often has on their website. They have a dedicated page for special offers, and there may be select sailings that are reduced. So this is a way in which you can save some money. And do also look out for guaranteed staterooms. So sometimes when you go to look at different sailings, you will see what is called a guaranteed rate. This guaranteed rate, if you choose it, that means that you are picking the category of room that you want, but Disney picks your location. So for example, if you choose a veranda room, it means that you are guaranteed to get a veranda room. You just don't know where on the ship that you're going to be. So Disney is going to choose that for you. So for example, last year on the Disney Wish, my husband and I, we booked a guaranteed veranda room. And when our room was assigned, we were actually assigned a family veranda room. So it was a bigger room than what we would actually have chosen for ourselves. And this sailing is the one in which I was able to save 40% on, because I booked this when Disney released a special offer for World Gratitude Day. I think it was September 2025 for World Gratitude Day. They announced that they were offering up to 40% on select sailings. This sailing happened to coincide with us already being on holiday over in Orlando. And we decided that it was such a huge cost saving that we would avail of it. And it was a chance to go on the Wish, which we'd never been on before. And it was a huge saving by choosing this guaranteed room. So the money that you were saving it because you were choosing a guaranteed room. But a guaranteed room doesn't mean that it is a lesser room. If anything, sometimes you can end up with a better room, as in our case. Obviously, that is not guaranteed, but you are going to get the category of room that you have chosen. So this is a good way to save money. So do look out for these offers that come up from time to time. So booking strategically can definitely help to reduce the overall cost, being smart about how you plan and planning in advance. But Disney cruises, they are definitely a premium. They're not the cheapest holiday you can take, and they're probably not the cheapest cruise that you can take, but they definitely are going to suit certain people. For example, if you're not really into the party vibe or the casino vibe that is offered by other cruise lines, then Disney could be perfect for you, especially if you're traveling with a young family. But that is not to say that they're not suitable for even adults only cruises. Myself and my husband, we cruise as adults on Disney Cruise Line because we love the entertainment that is offered. We love the dining experience. We love the customer service. It is Broadway caliber entertainment. It is first class customer service, and we just love the Disney difference. And pretty much everything that we could want is included in the price. So for us, it is absolutely worth it. I will choose Disney Cruise Line over any other cruise line. But of course, you need to weigh up the things that are important to you. So maybe you do want a party vibe, or you do want to hit the casinos or have a bit more of an adult vibe or entertainment. And that's okay too. I think it's the good thing about there being so many cruise options available and seeing the cruise industry really expanding and growing. If you are considering planning a Disney cruise, then please do subscribe to the channel. I have lots of cruise content upcoming. As mentioned, I will be sailing on the Disney Adventure maiden voyage from Singapore. I do have some videos up already about the pre-cruise planning for the Adventure and also what we know so far about the ship. So check those out if you're interested. If you have any other comments on the costs associated with a Disney cruise or what's included, then please do leave those in the comments below and I will get back to you on those. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found this video helpful. I'll see you on the next one, and let's turn your miles into magic.